Hi, this is Dave Ruden. Instead of doing a podcast this week, figured we would do a video cast, if you will. And right now we have John Marinelli, his last time on the Greenwich campus for who knows when. And thought it'd be a good opportunity to talk a little bit about the current, past, and future. So, John, thanks for joining me here.
I appreciate having me.
It's a little weird, being back out here now with your status changed since the last time.
Yeah, I mean, last time I was here was for graduation to watch our seniors graduate. So being out here now, it's a little hot, but yeah, it's definitely a nostalgic feeling. And Cardinal Stadium is as a player and as a coach, and now or when I was the head coach here, it was a really special place to be.
So I'm sure it's been a slow summer for you. You're moving, you're getting married on Saturday. Nothing much happening for you.
No, not too much at all. It's just been, it's your typical 9 to 5s. That's about it. But yeah, a little bit going on, but we're excited. Anna and I are, a couple days away, and I'm a couple more days away from heading to Arizona with her. So it'll be an interesting week in the next couple months. What's
more nerve-wracking, getting ready for a game or getting ready to walk down the aisle?
Well, I don't have to walk down the aisle, so I don't know how to answer that question. But yeah, I mean, it's two completely different feelings. That feeling you get on Friday night or Saturday afternoon, and that's game day. As a player or as a coach, comes around every week, and start to lose it a little bit as a player. But everyone's told me the feeling on your wedding day is very similar to that of game day. So I'm excited. I found the woman of my dreams, and I get to see how beautiful she looks on Saturday and spend the rest of my life with her.
I've been in the loop a little bit about your relationship with Arizona, and I know there were a little bit of feelers early after the season, and I know you said to me, I'm definitely back here, and then Arizona came back out to you early June and asked you to go out. What happened?
Yeah, I have a relationship with our staff. I don't know if anything was out there. I mean, as a head coach at Greenwich and as a young person, I think I've had a lot of opportunities, and I never really thought that I'd ever leave high school. I saw the life that my dad has made for himself, and raising a family as a high school coach. And so when Arizona came out, when Arizona came about, it's more about the opportunity to interview, go through the interview process, see how it happens, and just so happens that they liked me, and I fell in love with Arizona. It just seemed to be the right mix, and but the process is it's tough, and like every other job there is. I mean, corporate world, business world, football world, sports world, it's just an interview, and both sides have to really have an understanding and agreement and like each other, and it just seems to be the right fit for me.
You've had a relationship for a while with Noel Mazzone, the offensive coordinator there. How did that all come about?
I've known Noel for over 10 years, and he's been a mentor and a friend to me, and someone I've tried to talk football with and life with over the countless years. His son Taylor's on staff. He's a good friend, and I've been with him. I visited him at UCLA. I visited him at Texas A&M. I visited Arizona. I just try to get out. I visited a bunch of schools over the last couple of years, and you just try to go see what people are doing differently, try to learn, educate yourself. And those guys have always just seemed to really welcome high school coaches into their doors, and that relationship just kind of kept on going and going. When the NCAA was allowed to have camps on high schools, or the coaches were allowed to run camps, they came out and they did a bunch of camps for us at New Canaan here, and just their willingness to help the sport, and their love for the game, their passion to help kids. That was part of I think what really stood out in me, and now college, to see how they do it with their kids. It's that passion and that fire is still there to help young kids, and that's why I got into this whole profession.
What ultimately about the job swayed you most?
The people. I think it's people look around, they say, Arizona, for example, it's a Pac-12 school. I first started at University of Rhode Island. Like, why would you go to Rhode Island? It's like, well, if you walked into Goldman Sachs or J.P. Morgan or Merrill Lynch or Bank of America, and you walk into those buildings in New York City, they're hard jobs to get. And just like that, so Alabama's, the Michigans, all the bigger schools, like you can't just like walk in there and get a job. You have to know somebody. You have to, been around and do your work, and you have to earn your spot at the door, so to speak. That's kind of the way the football world works, with people, not places. So for me, like, this staff is Goldman Sachs. I love this staff. I love being around this staff. And in the football world, you want to follow people, not schools, as a coach. And I felt like being around this particular staff and these people is like my dream of a young coach trying to make his way in the profession. And I'm surrounded by unbelievable people, and that's what I was always looking for if I was ever going to make the jump. I haven't been looking for a move, but the right move came at the right time, and I'm surrounded by people that I think are ultimately unbelievable role models for kids, and they help coaches and kids, and they're just the type of people that you want to surround yourself with. And I'm fortunate enough to have an opportunity to interview, and I'm fortunate enough to have an opportunity that they extended a place at the door.
Is it easier to go coming off a state title than, say, if this offer had been made a year ago when you lost in the state championship game?
Wins and losses never meant anything to me in terms of how I grade myself. Obviously, you're judged by the media and judged by people and wins and losses, but state championship or no state championship, we have over 200 kids in the program for its third straight year. What we've done with the domestic violence campaign, what we've done with countless other speakers, the Supreme Court judge coming up to talk to our teams, our team out of New York City, the academics in the building. I mean, we've done so much more than wins or losses. So no, that doesn't. I wouldn't say like I left because I won a state championship or anything else. Like, I wasn't in a mindset last year to look for an opportunity, and no one came knocking at the door. I've never sent my resume anywhere, so I don't know if that's I think it's right time, right place, right situation, and the success on the field is the last thing that I'm worried about as a high school football coach. But the success in that building and the success you can have in kids' lives and the impact that you can make, those are the four things that I think are premier over anything.
More so though, even from really just being able to tell the kids, I mean, which I'm sure was one of the hardest days of your life. You're coming off a state title. How to make it at least a little bit easier than if you'd just gotten really close and were looking to make the next step from the kids' standpoint?
I don't know. I think kids develop relationships with their high school coaches, and I think that the relationship, not because they came close to winning, I think that once you care about kids and they care about you, you've started something, and that you're gonna. That's when the wins and losses come, is when you build it the right way and you develop those relationships. But, I don't think that they're worried about winning when, I resign or do anything. I think they're more concerned that they've lost someone that's been important in their lives, and they're important in my life. I don't feel like we've lost, and I think that's the shock and awe part of it. And I'll be involved in these kids' lives however I can. Anyone that's played for me in this program, I want to be able to help them out in the future. And that's an impact of a high school coach. I never want to lose that high school coach mentality as I move on. And who knows, I could be fired in 3 months and end up right back here anyway. So whoever the next coach is, as long as they have a water jug down there, I'm happy to feed the players water. But I've always looked at the role of a high school coach as the impact that they can have on young teenagers.
If there was going to be a time, and I know how hard this decision was for you, this is probably the perfect time. Just it's kind of like a new chapter in your life. You're getting married, you're coming off a state championship, and you're also at the age right now that if you don't take this opportunity soon, the opportunity may not come again.
Yeah, I guess I haven't put that into any thought. I feel like it was the right fit, the right staff, the people that I wanted to surround myself with. And at 33 years old, sure, I'm getting married, but that in life, follow your passion, follow your dreams, and dreams and passions can change and intermingle. And then as long as you follow your heart and you do it the right way, and I felt like here we've done it the right way, and I've surrounded myself with an amazing coaching staff and amazing people and people that I care about, that I won't be just in touch with because they coached under me, but because I feel like I have lifelong relationships with almost all the coaches that have been on staff, and we care about each other more as people than we do as coaches, and that to me is what I care about the most. So right time, right place, sure, but I've never really thought about it. It's just I gotta get back to work. I start at the bottom and I gotta work my way to the top.
I mean, one thing where I think this is so perfect, and those of us who've really known you well over the years, is you're really a 24/7 football guy. You're going to love wherever you're coaching, But it was really for you, it was the hours here when you're not coaching, when you had to do something else for your income. I mean, you know, you're not really a teacher, though you could teach. You're not really an insurance salesman, though you can sell insurance. I mean, football is really your number one love after family.
Yeah, I've been a trader. I've been a financial advisor. I've been a commercial real estate broker. In 10, 12 years since I graduated. So I love football. I've always done something that would make this sport work because of the impact that it's had on me and the people that have made an impact on me, whether it was high school, Canterbury when I PG'd, or college. So yeah, it's always been about impacting. And obviously the competition of the game, it's, you know, other sports play checkers, football we play chess. And all the pieces and the special teams, offense and defense, it's the game planning feel to it is the reason what I think obviously connects us mostly to the game. But what happens is after that is the impact you can have on kids and what the sport can do for the camaraderie and what the sport can do from a community. Look in the last 4 years of Greenwich, this place, you know, their attendance at games was dwindling, and you know, in 4 years now, you know, football is the talk of town, as it should be in this town, and I think it's because of the impact that the players have had in the town, in the community, being out, doing different things, and getting the sport back, you know, to its rightful place. But that's not because of what we're doing on the field. It's because of all the things we're doing off the field, and because we're trying to take care of kids as much as possible. And we have great coaching staff that's able to do it. We have great parents that want to see the boys have success, and we have a community in town. This might be one of the few communities that we have so many alumni that live back in town, and so that makes this place special over most in any part of the country, really.
Your job as an offensive analyst at Arizona, what does that entail?
I'll be on the offensive side of the ball, and obviously, and I'll be working with the offensive coordinator and the offensive staff and developing game plans and trying to understand the Pac-12 and trying to break down what we can for get wins. But you know, I think the role will change as we go on. We'll try to get a feel for it, but there's you know, a lot to look forward to, a lot to, you know, I get to do football, you know, 24 hours a day, so I'm pretty happy about it.
Recharging.
I think one of the indicators of how respected you are here was when you told the kids that you were leaving, and obviously they were devastated, they were crushed, but you see coaches who have had success or haven't had success, and there's animosity going on, and every kid I've spoken to, we were crushed, but we love John, and this is the best thing for him. So I mean, that had to be pleasing for you. As much as they want you here, they care about you as a person more.
Yeah, I think, you know, I obviously have a great mentor in my dad. Whenever you leave somewhere, whether it's a job, whether it's Greenwich High School, you have to, I've been taught to do it the right way. And the kids needed to hear it from me first before anybody heard it. And I think too many times, I think it gets out there for other people to find out first. And, you know, so there was a specific process that I followed in order to try to do it the right way, and I think the message was clear, concise, and you know, you try to do it the right way, no matter if you've had a good experience or a bad experience. You know, and I think too many coaches don't realize that when they try to leave a place. And I'm fortunate to grow up and under a roof where the most respected human being in Connecticut high school football was my dad. And the respect that he has, you know, throughout the country and the nation. I have an AD that was a former football coach, one of the most respected football coaches of his era as a football coach. So I have unbelievable people surrounding me that have given me terrific advice, and they've been there before, and they've done it the right way. And I just wanted to make sure that I followed, dotted the I's, crossed the T's, and followed their lead, because I believe in doing things the right way. And I felt like we handled it the right way. As hard of a blow as it can be to some, no matter what, you always have to kind of follow a process and stick to that process. And that was a very tough couple days, for me personally. But at the end of the day, looking back on it, I can have relationships for the rest of my life because I've left the right way. I mean, almost every single one of the kids' parents, the amount of support that I've gotten and reached out to, and as a matter of fact, the amount of support I've gotten in the manner in which it was handled was incredibly overwhelming amount of support. So I'm happy that we did that.
As we tape this, your successor hasn't been named yet. It's rumored to be imminent at any time. There's a good chance it's going to be coming internally from your staff. I know that's your hope, but another testament to your program, everything's in place. I mean, if obviously you're a big loss, but everybody else is staying, everybody wants to work together. The coaching staff's really a family, and it's positioned to keep having success because you're going to be gone, but everybody else is still going to be there.
Yeah, I have an amazing group of men that are and women. We have a female on staff too. It's amazing about this sport and the camaraderie, what it can do. People don't realize coaches, we have just as much camaraderie as the players do, and we do a lot together and spend a lot of time together. And I've had two former head coaches on staff in Brucey and Hawk, and the amount that they've helped me as a former coach, as an AD. I mean, I've been put in a situation where when something comes up, there's someone that can give me meaningful advice on what the situation is and how we can do it, and get a lot of different viewpoints. And then I have a lot of coaches on my staff that have taken head coaching interviews and have decided not to take the job, or have taken their name out of the hat because really they didn't want to leave. So when you include all that, that's pretty powerful. We have a lot of good coaches, and this program, if the decision's made and it's on staff, then this program is going to continue to do great things because the community supports the staff, the administration supports the staff, and we have a lot of great men on staff, and the kids love the staff. So I think it's an easy one, but it's not my call.
Are you starting to come to terms, or have you? I mean, this is your life here. You've been Fairfield County, you've been New Canaan growing up. I love that picture of you with your dad as a little kid on the football field. You played here, you coached here as an assistant. You've pretty much done everything in your football career here. Is it kind of hard coming to terms, as much as you're excited about the future, what you're leaving behind?
Yeah, I mean, I love this. This is a special part of the world. Education, the power of family. I just felt like all that is encompassing in Fairfield County, specifically in New Canaan and Greenwich, and what sports can do to help families, and how it's helped my family, and so on and so forth. It's amazing. I've grown up with a tremendous education because of where I'm from, and the people that have been my friends. I mean, it's not just colleges, but the opportunities that this area of the country have afforded me. I mean, I'm going to Arizona because I honestly believe that this part of the country has made me tougher. It's made me wiser. It's helped me handle a lot of different circumstances and situations that you don't get in other parts of the country. And I'm really sad to leave it, but it's always going to be here, and this is home, and I'm excited to always come back. So let's go to the desert.
Last question. I know in a similar situation, if I asked what you're going to remember most about your time in Greenwich, if I asked this to a different coach, they might talk about a state championship win or a particular victory. I have a feeling asking you that you're not going to talk about a particular game. No, I'll say, when I felt that the program was finally turned over, there was the loss to Darien in the state championship game in the snow, and Darien was celebrating as they should, but our kids would compose themselves. It was a true form of class on the Greenwich side, and you had not the Darien players and not their coaches. They're a class act, but some of their fans were in our huddle sliding into us, and it would have been really easy and a loss and a tough moment for teenage boys to act out and do something that they shouldn't have done, and our kids just stood there. They were composed. They got each other back. We waited on the field. I mean, it was a true, and our parents did, and that to me was the proudest moment of
as a head coach of being at Greenwich when we lost the game, and just our players were in tears, but they had the wherewithal and the know-how to act as men, to act with class, and to get each other out of bad situations. And then the day after, we had a banquet the day after the state championship loss, which was tough, but it was like someone made it so it was like the family was together, and we needed the mending process of that game, and I believed in that, and there was a parent that said that. And so that to me was like the two things, those back-to-back days, and the amount of kids that we've helped. And I'll be honest, Greenwich parents don't get involved as much as I hear about other places. They let us coach, and one message across in the high school parent world is like, let your coaches coach. Try not to get in the way of a parent, and for the most part, this town is incredible with letting their kids have an experience, and I'll never forget that. I'll never forget the parents, the amount of support that they've had to allow me do what I'm trying to do, and to allow our coaches have to do what they do best, is coach. And they don't really step on our toes in this town, and they have never. It's incredible. So you hear about all these bad stories that are going on in the country and in some parts of Fairfield County, and I feel blessed and fortunate enough that I've had parents that have had my back, whether their kid was a starter or he wasn't, and I hope that continues for the new coach here.
Well, Johnny, it's been a fun ride. I go back to your days as a player for your dad at New Canaan, so I've seen a good part of your football career other than the youth. You did a terrific job here. You're a role model. You're a role model for your football success aside for a lot of people, and I know you'll be in Arizona, but there's going to be a piece of you here in Greenwich. And on a personal note, I can't think of anybody more accommodating to the media and letting us do our job, and actually having the understanding that the media can. It's not an adversarial thing. It's a good synergy. So congrats on getting married. Best of luck in Arizona, and not goodbye, but until we see each other again.
Thank you very much. And people don't realize what you can do to help kids reach their dreams, and what all the media can do. So thank you for doing what you do. It's not about us, it's about the kids, and the impact that you can have on a child, writing a spotlight, and the impact that you can have on a town. I think you deserve a lot more credit for what you do as well. So thank you for all your hard work.
Well, Johnny, I appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you.
And that's our Ruden Report videocast, and we'll be back with a podcast real soon. Thanks.